Daft Punk is a band that shattered records, enamored fans, and rewrote a genre that many people had given up on. With their Epilogue video released February 22nd, 2021, they essentially announced the end of Daft Punk. As if 2020 Part 2 Electric Boogaloo wasn't bad enough already. While slightly outside of my wheelhouse of music, I wanted to take a closer look at their career, give you my top 3 picks of their songs, and show you how you can create your own Daft Punk inspired sounds at home with the help of a great website. Before we continue, be sure to like and subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. We have some songs and sketches in the works, so stay tuned. 4 studio albums, 6 Grammy wins, and 2 sick helmets. Who even are Daft Punk? Daft Punk formed in 1993 after 2 French musicians, Thomas Bangalter and Guy-Manuel de Homem-Christo, started experimenting with synths, drum machines, and loops after their indie band broke up in the early 90s. Their music went on to reshape the way dance music was made, and they're listed as the inspirations for groups such as Skrillex, Zedd, and even Kanye West. I remember being introduced to Daft Punk at a young age. My school had these things called mixers, where they would take a bunch of Catholic school kids and put them in a room with a bunch of other Catholic school kids and hope that, through the power of Jesus, they'd become friends. I hated them, but the music at these was always on point, and I specifically remember being a huge fan of the Kanye West redux of Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, simply titled Stronger.
That's how long I've been on ya.
Looking back, not the best thing to play to middle schoolers. You understand why I hated these mixers, right? But through this remix, I made the discovery of the original song. And boy, did it speak to me more than the remix ever did. The beat, the synths, the composition. I'd never heard anything like it, and it's been on my daily playlist for nearly 10 years since. This was also my gateway drug to more Daft Punk. Have you ever wondered what an existential trip through space and time would sound like? Wonder no more and listen to Superheroes. This song is so strange, so odd, so fresh, so dozer, so Daft Punk, that it's impossible not to love it. It's essentially early rave and house music turned up to 11 non-stop. And this doesn't speak at all to the music videos on this album, each one telling an ongoing story, which, if you haven't seen yet, do that. This last pick is not my personal favorite, but one I think needs to be here for its addition to the cultural miasma. Get Lucky came out at a time I like to refer to as the alt revolution. You know, that time between 2012 and 2014 when every single good song from the 2010s came out. You had your hits, of course, by 21 Pilots, Bastille, Fits in the Tantrums, Capital Cities, New Politics, The Neighborhood, Lumineers, Fun, Imagine Dragons, Passion Pit. But a cultural touchstone came about with this collaboration between Pharrell Williams and Daft Punk. Get Lucky helped a whole new generation discover Daft Punk, and helped them achieve 4 Grammys in 2014. The impact was clear. And with this announcement, we're left with a hole in the music industry that is going to take some time to refill. For certain, there are inspirations I didn't get to touch upon here. Artists and bands have been influenced by Daft Punk's music, whether they realize it or not. I, for one, can't even hear the word stronger without humming along. So that's my take on their music and their impact. Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how you can get some Daft Punk inspired sounds for your music. Now I want to be clear, this next part is not sponsored, but I cannot recommend Splice enough. Daft Punk began as a means of experimenting with drum loops and samples, and Splice is a one-stop shop for every sample you could possibly need. It's how I've built out every song I've used on this channel so far, and their samples have helped me build songs for my band Malibu Wild. Their plans start at $8 a month for 100 credits. Again, not at all sponsored, but if you're looking for a way to get great high-quality samples and loops for a very low price, you need to check out Splice.
The computer, an extension of the human intellect.
I'll also be doing a video soon about how you can achieve the Daft Punk style guitar tones with nothing more than the bass amps and pedals inside of Logic. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so that's our take on the life and times of Daft Punk. What's your favorite song? How do you feel about the epilogue? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to check out our Twitter, our TikTok, and consider supporting us on Patreon. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Or day. I don't know where you live.